Oh, goddamn, man, it's a show. It's a show we got here. That's my best American prospector accent. It's not great. Welcome back to another episode of The Daily Show. We've had a ton of people send through their kind of congratulations on awesome shows recently. And to you guys, thank you so much, because we get to see everything. We respond to everyone. So thank you so much. It really kind of makes the show worth it. This week, we have an old friend of the business, old friend of the show, old friend of me and Tony. Back in 2015, 16, we flew over to Florida to attend Bess Auer's FLBlogCon at Full Sail University. It was an incredible experience for us because FLBlogCon was absolutely huge. And Bess set up the whole thing from its genesis, and you'll hear in the show just how much of an exercise that really was. She's an amazing woman who's like genuinely built tons and tons of incredible communities throughout her career and throughout her life, right? She's also one of those people who says like, there's not that thing. I guess I'll make it, which is so exciting. Like people who make their dreams come true, or just any dream come true. And you'll hear from talking to Bess, like she wasn't necessarily to the first network they set up. Like she wasn't into swimming. That wasn't her bag, but it was her husband's and her son's. And, then what can she add to that? And from there, it spawned into a behemoth. So check her out. She's absolutely amazing. Also, get onto Amazon and check out Unio, the art of building an intentional community. I probably said that incorrectly because I said it wrong and didn't bring the book with me, but I said it wrong on the show as well. So enjoy. Here is the wonderful, the lovely, the fantastic Miss Bess Auer. We are live. Yes, we are live. Welcome back to another episode of The Daily Show. Thank you for coming once again. This week we have an awesome show lined up because old friend of the show, of mine and Tony's, of the business, we have a wonderful, wonderful person, right? So Bess, who's about to come on, has written a book about communities, right? And how to build communities. And we were talking before the show. I got a big problem, as I'm sure you've seen on my post at some point, with people who, are teaching things without the experience. I don't want to hear a coach I don't want to see a social media coach unless they got thousands of followers, right? I'll listen to those people, but not the others. Same thing here with like the book is about building communities, and who better to speak to from someone who's built like big, successful communities across industries, across media, events, TV, radio, online, you name it. The wonderful, wonderful Bess Auer has done it. So ladies and germs, those of you who are watching, Miss Bess Auer.
Hello. Oh my God. You give an opener. Thank you, my friend.
I learned from the Bess. So I was, my first ever time on radio was over in Florida on Bess's show. And I remember sitting there and just being like, this is so polished. Oh my goodness, I need to learn. So Bess, for those who haven't been following you like my good self over the years, introduce the kids and tell them who you are.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. As you said, out of Florida, thus our tone difference as we were discussing before the show. But Florida is actually my sweet spot. I've built two amazing communities here in Florida. The first one, as you referenced, Jay, was FLBlogCon, which is actually the Florida Blogger and Social Media Conference. I organized and produced that for almost a decade, and it was by Florida bloggers for Florida bloggers. Unless you're a Jay Ludgrove and Tony Stewart, you can come over and present from London. It was a one-day conference where we got the biggest names in social media and blogging together and discuss all things blogging, social media, online influencing, video production, podcasting, you name it. And we were lucky enough to have you all come all the way across the pond and speak. Your topic was on podcasting.
And it was great. What amazed me about it is it was such a big event. So it was held at Florida University. No, not University of Florida.
At Full Sail University.
Full Sail University in Florida. I follow a GPS and arrive places. So then immediately forget those. So, but what was amazing is there were so many talks going on. So right at the beginning of the event, and we're talking just for you guys out there who have attended like, little tiny conferences, little tiny expos. This was a big conference. This is a big old conference. So we had a massive auditorium with all full of like bloggers of all different ilk. And then everyone literally was split up into like, okay, your food. Well, this is all going to be useful to you. Go and do this track, your fitness, or I'm picking out topics, but after that, meaning that all of the actual classes and everything that people went through and, saw throughout the day and the talks they had were then relevant to them. And the community was excellent. Like you built an excellent, excellent like bunch of people there. Everyone like really had a good time.
One of the things that I actually write about is we timed it right, right? So in 2010, blogging and online world was just going mainstream. When my mother knows what something is, I know it's mainstream, right? So she understood what a blog was and how to access one and how to read one. So I'm like,
Sure.
okay. So timing was on our side for sure. I'm not sure if we started it up now, it might be quite so successful, but
Fair.
it was for that. And the same goes for the second community. My husband's a swim coach. My son was a swimmer. So around the same time, Jay, let me ask you this. Have you ever been to a swim meet? Is that anywhere in your realm?
Funnily enough, yes, because I know someone who coaches guys and started with his son and now keeps coaching it. So yes, I have, but I don't think it's a huge thing over here.
Okay. Well, swimming, for those of you who have not been, it's not a great sport to sit and watch. I apologize to my husband and son, but so I'm sitting here, I'm a blogger, doing online stuff, and I'm sitting there as a parent watching my kids swim. I'm hearing the other moms, gossiping and stuff, and it's just driving me nuts. So I go to my husband, I'm like, I can't do this. I got to have something to do. He goes, why don't you try webcasting? Live streaming was not even a word in our vernacular.
And what
20
year is this? So what kind of year is this?
2010, 2010. And so we're like, okay, cool. So we go to Best Buy, which is a big box store, retail store here. We buy, you remember the eyeball camera that you would
Yeah,
set
yeah,
up?
yeah.
That was our first webcasting camera. And so I arrive at the meet, I have my little camera in hand, and the Joe says to the meet guys, he's like, hey, can Best webcast this? They're like, well, we don't know what that is, but sure, go ahead and set up over next to the announcer. So I walk over to the announcer. I got my little laptop. I've got the plugged into the camera, and we set it up on the speaker that the announcer's broadcasting the meet on. So he's making house announcements and stuff.
Sure.
Every time he talked, it shook a little bit.
And next up is
So bad. It was so bad. And then I'm turning it like this, not really sure because I have no preview of what I'm looking at. I'm just hoping I'm getting something in the pool because there's no Zoom, there's no preview. And I think we were broadcasting Jason TV, Justin TV, one of those really early runners
yeah,
of what
yeah.
was livestream.com and all that. So anyway, it was disastrous, probably the worst broadcast in history. And I'm sitting there commentating into my little microphone in my laptop. And I know nothing about swimming, Jay, except being a swim mom. So I'm like, so yeah, that freestyle looks really good. And oh wow, that was a really good try. I mean, I knew nothing. So, but but there's a but to this. All the coaches on deck are looking and they're like, Joe, what is Bess doing? He's like, oh, she's webcasting. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So he gives them the address to go look at, to link. And they're like, oh, okay. First time doing something. It looked great because they'd never seen a comparative to know that it wasn't great.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they start texting friends and family to tune in. Jay, we had 300 unique viewers at that first shitty broadcast.
Wow. For a local broadcast, which now is the equivalent of putting your phone up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't work nowadays. I said timing was everything.
So
So,
yeah, but you're the early adopter and seeing from Joe being techie and into something, right? As
yeah,
simple as that. Which
so
is what you need to be in 2010 to know what a webcast was.
yeah, so we got going back to Full Sail University, who's like the world leader in teaching people how to do this stuff. We
Right.
got some guys from there. They came over, helped us figure out the cameras. So then we grew from there to like having 6 cameras. We'd switch angles. We had commentators that would actually commentate. We had a chat room where people viewing could tune in. And we like to say that we sold out stadiums online. I mean, we would get an average of about 60,000 unique views on our meets
Wow.
because, yeah, yeah. Well, advantage, Florida. We're an international state, meaning people move here from elsewhere,
True.
extended family all around the world.
True.
And so when little Johnny is swimming in his swim meet, mom is sending it out to all the relatives to tune in. And so,
Hmm.
and you have 300 kids at a swim meet. That's a lot of views. So,
That's a lot of people.
and we are, our sweet spot was Florida swimmers, just like our sweet spot was Florida bloggers. So that was another tip about building community is know who your swimmers are. So Florida Swim Network grew from there. We were hired by some of the colleges to broadcast their swimming up to the point where actually ESPN hired us to be their swim meet crew and commentate. So Jay, I don't know if you know this or not. I have commentated on ESPN.
That's like a dream of mine. Just one UFC. That's all I want.
We were not asked back the year after that, so it was probably because of me. Kidding, but anyway, so I had these two really great communities that I think it was timing, technology that I had the good fortune of having a hand in building.